Parker to Bernstein, Steve.
You know, in that piece, Brock, we just saw, I pointed out that the windows are sealed up now. Well, that's why Meyer has got the escape hatch open there, trying to get some ventilation. It gets mighty warm in there.
Oh, boy, no AC in these babies. So there goes Bernstein and his last burnout to get those tires heated up and get the engine temperatures up to where they belong. So as we see Billy Meyer getting ready to very carefully stage that automobile, take some real, you can't see much in those things, Steve, so you got to be very careful about not getting beyond those lights.
And you got to trust the man out in front. In this case, it was Billy's crew chief, Jim Duffy, who motioned it forward. Now Billy can see the tree. You saw Duffy just glance in there, no doubt to look at the oil pressure gauge, make sure everything was all right from that standpoint.
These cars, certainly the noisiest and most violent, most essentially unstable and exciting automobiles ever to go on a racetrack.
Kenny Bernstein is up in smoke, driving it with everything he's got, but it's not going to be enough. Billy Meyer wins it, goes into the semis at 594, 250 miles an hour.
Boy, what an A for effort for Kenny Bernstein. He got it sideways and wouldn't get out of it, just stayed in that throttle and tried to catch up, but not enough.
Well, they waste no time lighting up the next pair. It is going to be the hometown favorite, Mark Oswald of the Candies and Hughes machine, and this car with the body now coming down, Tim Gross, the beautiful Pontiac Firebird. Now, Tim got into the second round by beating Mike Dunn in the first round. Dunn in the far lane, and you talk about close drag races, and the reason they have a computer to call the winner, wow. Tim Gross around Mike Dunn at 6 flat, 239 miles an hour, but he had some problems in the rear end of the automobile. The differential apparently going away on him. I talked to Tim as they worked on the car.
Well, for Tim Gross, the motor's the easy part. Apparently, it's the rear end giving you problems, Tim, the differential?
Yes, unfortunately. We had the exact same problem after first run, I believe it was, at Pomona, the Winter Nationals. And Billy Meyer was kind enough to loan his rear end to us, and now we just came in the same predicament, and Captain Crazy Group loaned us their third member.
Okay, you've got a tough customer this next round, the hometown favorite, the low qualifier, Oswald.
You bet, and we kind of anticipated that too. We looked at the sheet, the ladder as to what would happen during the course of eliminations if we got by first round. We knew we were going to face the toughest guys in the ballpark.
And this is one of the toughest guys, Mark Oswald, the hired gun of the famed Candies and Hughes team from just down the road in the bayou in Houma, Louisiana.
And as you might imagine, Brock, this crowd is riding with the red car in the far lane, hoping they get one more win light than they did last year. If you recall, it was Al Segrini over Mark Oswald in the final round. The car then was blue, however.
This Candies and Hughes team always feels a front runner, of course, famed for their top fuel dragsters for a long, long time, since before their conversion to the funny car ranks, and they've been big successes ever since.
And Mark Oswald made the conversion from a top fuel driver to a funny car driver faster than I've ever seen it done. Here is Tim Gross. He has really only raced funny cars in his long career. There was a time when we used to say, well, Tim Gross doesn't have the parts or pieces to be competitive. Well, he's got some more financial backing this year, and who knows, he may be right among the thick of things when the season's done.
Well, if desire counts, Tim Gross ought to be a world champion. He works on the cars. He's his own chief mechanic as we see him stage against the famed Candies and Hughes car driven by Mark Oswald. And they pull the trigger, a good start, but Gross gets a little bit sideways out near the center line, and Mark Oswald drives away at a 588, 257 miles an hour. Just a wink away from Kenny Bernstein's record-setting 260. We thought we were going to see some big speeds here at the Cajun Nationals, and already we've seen Mark Oswald run 257 miles an hour to get into the semifinals against Jim Head. The other pairing, Dale Pulte versus Billy Meyer. Steve?
Here at Dale Pulte's pits, he and his partner Mike Hamby have taken a parts inventory, and the decision is what?
We're not going to go up for the next round. We can't really pinpoint the problem of what's going on, why the car keeps, it's burning bearings out of it. It's not an oiling problem. We think it's a problem somewhere in the clutch or the tune-up or something like that. And it's plagued us this weekend. It's plagued us on and off before. And we're just going to take everything all apart and see if we can go through with a fine-tooth comb and see if we can find the problem.
Before you have a fire.
Yeah, I already had one here not too long ago for the same thing. And I lost one car. This car doesn't rightfully belong to us. We're borrowing it till our other car is going to be finished in about 3 weeks. And I hate to take a brand new car and turn around and give it to this guy and have to build another one. But I just don't want to see anything bad happen out of it. We've been very fortunate, and I think we just better call it quits for the weekend.
A big break for Billy Meyer. He'll get a bye run. In addition to the professional racing that we've been covering here at the Cajun Nationals, there has been sportsman competition throughout the weekend. The sportsman categories include all types of cars. The racing very close, in some cases, actually handicap racing, where one car gets a physical head start over the other. In stock eliminator, Harvey Emmons III from Pasadena, Texas, driving his Camaro, defeated Mike Cotton of Tulsa, Oklahoma in the final for stock eliminator. In super stock eliminator, Larry Morgan at the wheel of his Pontiac Trans Am in the near lane matched off against Jackie Ray Pascal from Pasadena, Texas. Morgan out of Columbus, Ohio squeezes out the win at the finish to take home the super stock eliminator title. In super gas eliminator, a red light at the starting line for Roger Warren gave the win automatically to Eli Lopez from Irving, Texas. The dragster of Gary Wenzel in the far lane, racing against the Opal of Roy Johnson. Wenzel from Indiana, Johnson from Tennessee. This is competition eliminator, and Gary Wenzel is the winner. In top alcohol funny car racing, Dave Sebring of Kent, Ohio, won his first ever NHRA national event title, defeating Bob Newberry of Schenectady, New York. In the sister category of top alcohol, dragster Dennis Forcell won his second NHRA national event title, defeating Bubba Sewell. Forcell from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Sewell from Spring, Texas. A close race at the finish line. Dennis Forcell, the champion. In our final sportsman category, we find Tom Bowling in the far lane from Seminole, Oklahoma at the wheel of his dragster, losing out to Rodney Horton from Fort Worth, Texas in another very close race. Rodney Horton, your Super Comp Eliminator champion. We'd like to offer our congratulations to all of the Sportsman Eliminator champions at this 1984 edition of the Cajun Nationals Championships.
You've seen top fuel dragsters and tire-smoking funny cars here at the NHRA Cajun Nationals. We're getting ready right now for the second round of the Pro Stockers. And wouldn't you know, if there's a fishing hole anywhere nearby the racetrack, our pal Ed Bruce will find it.
You can find all kind of action here at the Cajun Nationals in Baton Rouge, but this is about what you'd expect in Bayou Country. The fans here at the Cajun Nationals have been witness to many firsts in drag racing history. Such was the case in 1982, when top fuel racers Shirley Muldowney and Lucille Lee met in the first all-female semifinal competition in professional drag racing history. 1982 was the year Shirley Muldowney won her unprecedented third world championship in the top fuel category. Challenged by Lucille Lee, who was competing in her first full season of racing, both cars inched forward to the staging lights. And it was a great start for Shirley. Lucille's car went up in smoke, and Shirley Muldowney went on to an easy victory. There was just no contest for Shirley. She easily powered her way to the win, the first all-female round of professional competition. Now let's go back to Brock and Steve for more of today's racing. Hey, Scott, what time are we going to eat?
Don't listen to him, kid. He couldn't catch a fish at Marineland.
What a way to pick on our partner Ed. As we watch a couple of real Hall of Famers in the Pro Stock ranks come to the line. Dino Don Nicholson, one of the originals in this business, Steve.
And still actively drag racing at 56 years of age from Orange, California. Also originally from California, now racing out of Black Lick, Ohio in a beautiful Pontiac Trans Am. That's the California Flash, Butch Leal in the far lane. There is none better on the starting line lights than Butch Leal.
You wonder how many times this pair has gone up against each other over the years. They're real veteran race drivers.
Well, Don Nicholson won the world title back in the early 70s. He retired when he turned 50, but just couldn't stay away. He's back again for his first full season in a long, long time.
He was also one of the guys that originated what we now call funny cars, really based on a modification of the super stock cars of the 1960s.
He was the mainstay of the Ford funny car racing team a long, long time ago. Nicholson in the Oldsmobile, the yellow car in the near lane, the black machine of Butch Leal. A lot of Ohio fans rooting for that black Trans Am. It is Butch Leal out in front of Dino Don Nicholson, and he train links him at the finish line. Butch Leal, no real contest from the Dino Man, a 782 for Leal, 177 miles an hour.
Just a question, apparently a raw horsepower for Butch Leal. It was a good race. Dino Don did everything he could, but just not enough horses in that car to take on Butch Leal.
And none better in the Pro Stock category than this car and this driver. Lee Shepard for the team of Ruin Morrison out of Arlington, Texas. Soft-spoken Lee Shepard enjoying his third consecutive world title. He is up against, in the near lane, from Reno, Nevada, Mark Ewell, the Ewell brothers. Down here they call them the Ewell brothers.
And they have a whole bunch of fun racing out of Reno, and they switch driving between the brothers.
You know, a lot of drivers will take a chance on the lights against Lee Shepard. Not Mark Ewell. He said, if I red light, I'm done, period. Ewell got a nice little advantage, though, off the starting line. Shepard noses him at the 1,320-foot mark with a fine 778. And look at the speed, Brock, 180 miles per hour.
A bunch of speed for a stock-bodied car running on a naturally aspirated 500-inch engine on pump gas.
And they're 2,350 pounds minimum weight. That's with the driver aboard. Drivers such as Don Coons from Cayuga, Indiana. He finished number 6 in the World Championship chase last year. He'll be up against the very best from the Eastern Seaboard, Frank Iaconio, New Jersey pro.
A man who has run with the best of them, never quite made the World Championship, but has been a runner-up a couple of times and is just as strong as anybody in this kind of racing.
Now look at this. Don Coons is not moving up. Already staged and ready is Frank Iaconio. Now I don't know if there's a problem with Coons' car. There is a problem with Coons' car. The tree goes green for Frank Iaconio. He gets a gift here in the second round.
Well, it appears, Steve, that Coons' car couldn't get into gear. He had a crewman trying to work on the transmission as Frank Iaconio does a single at 176 miles an hour, 782. Not bad with no competition. A saddened Don Coons' car pushed out of the way, and he is finished for the day.
And our next pair will feature the mainstay of the Ford Pro Stock racing effort. Here he is, Bob Glidden. Now, Glidden will be up against Roy Hill in a Mercury automobile in the near lane, the red and white car. And you can bet, Brock, he won't be taking the hillbilly easy here at the Cajuns. He did that at the Gator Nationals, and Roy beat him in round number 1. You don't see Bob Glidden of Whiteland, Indiana, going out in round 1 very often, but Roy Hill did it to him down in Florida. In fact, Hill has been the giant killer here at the Cajuns, too. In round number 1, it was Roy Hill beating this man, the world's fastest Pro Stock driver, Warren Johnson, and what a race it was. So good, in fact, let's go back to round 1 and have a look.
Warren Johnson in that monster power Oldsmobile of his, a car that has run top speed records all around the country as he goes up against Roy Hill. The upset-minded Roy Hill, who, by the way, has also had his car in a wind tunnel and discovered that it wanted to fly. So they've gotten that sorted out, and they had a good, strong race. Warren Johnson on the right side of your screen got a little sideways, and that was enough for Roy Hill to pull out a big upset victory. 784, 176 miles an hour to put him into this round against Bob Glidden.
And don't you know, Roy Hill is pumped up. If he can do it to Warren Johnson, he's certainly got a shot at Bob Glidden. You know, you were talking about Hill's car in the wind tunnel. It tried to break loose. It literally wanted to fly. And Hill turned around to everybody watching and said, I told you I was a brave man. Let me tell you, to drive that automobile the way it was, he's fearless. But now all of those things have been remedied, and you've seen the success in round 1. Let's see who gets off the mark first. It was Roy Hill. Roy Hill gets the whole shot.
And he's got upset on his mind, but it's not to be. Bob Glidden, big horsepower, pulls it out, 774 to go into the semifinals against Lee Shepard. The other pair, Frank Iaconio, Butch Leal. What a race that's going to be. Now, let's go to Steve Evans in the pit area.
Billy Meyer has already received the good news that Dale Poley will not be in the other lane for the semifinals, but you still can't really relax.
No, not at all, because this is a very touchy racetrack, and you have to have lane choice to feel comfortable going into any round. We've been swapping back and forth all day long with Candy's and Hughes car with Mark Oswald, and one time we have lane choice, the next time they do. Consequently, next round we assume that he can beat Jim Head if he doesn't make a mistake. Jim Head is right there, though, so if he does make a mistake, Jim Head's probably going to beat him. But I think
you've got it all figured out.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be myself and Oswald in the final, and I think it's going to be whoever has lane choice is probably going to win the race.
So you've still got a race on your hands, only this time it's against the clock and only the clock.
Yeah, we just have to, make sure that we get down there quicker than Oswald. I plan on letting him run first because I ran in front of him last time, so hopefully we get lane choice.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, it's going to get noisy, so stay with us.
Well, you can't have a better drag race in Top Fuel than the world's fastest driver, Joe Amato, starting his engine right here, and the world's quickest driver, Gary Beck. They will be side by side, Brock Yates.
Right, Steve, and a bit of a grudge match for this man. Remember, Joe Amato beat him at the Gator Nationals pretty soundly. Gary Beck not really too used to being beaten in the finals these days, so you got to know that he is thinking about revenge against this young man from Pennsylvania, Joe Amato.
Well, also, Joe Amato has made it known to anyone that'll listen that he intends to take that number 1 off of Gary Beck's car at the end of this season.
Well, Steve, remember he showed up at Gainesville with that big, high, radically raked wing, and now Gary Beck and some of the other top fuel drivers have also imitated that. That wing carried him